Coming at you live from a couple of stools in the low-class studios. This is a feminist and a comedian walk into a bar. I am Justin Golak. With me, as always. Oh, sorry, I'm a comedian. Oh, and then we haven't done this. I feel like I haven't done this in a while because
you're rusty.
It's been like a month because every
Since
2 weeks.
Fled.
I guess we've been doing that format for a while, but for some reason, it's extra hard on me.
Get on your game, Justin.
Coming at you live from the low class studios. This is feminist comedian walking in a bar. I am Justin Golak. I am a comedian, and I'm sipping on a Tecate Light. I thought I had some more Lone Star in the beer fridge, but
it's a bad sign when alcohol goes missing that you think you had more of.
I don't think it went missing. I just think I thought I had some and I didn't. No, because I never. As you see, that beer fridge has beer options in it. As to, I don't drink the special podcast beer. Which is fine. Not a big tragedy, except for the listeners who like playing along with the bottle cap game, because Tecate does not offer a riddle, because it comes in a can. I think even the bottles of Tecate do not have a riddle. So no riddle on Twitter. Sorry, but besides that, I did a sauna today. Feeling good. Nice hydrating beer. So in terms of that, it's all working out okay. With me as always, co-host, feminist Jackie Manti. How you doing, Jackie?
Hey,
what are
good.
you sipping on?
I'm sipping tea out of a juice box.
Ooh.
It's called Yeo's Trahua Cook.
Traha Coke. What?
Chrysanthemum tea drink.
Oh, chrysanthemum?
We got it in Chinatown.
Chinatown.
Waka waka. Yeah, we went there recently.
My mom was in town this previous weekend, and so we wanted to do some sort of funtivity for the visiting family members, so we thought we'd take a trip to Chinatown. We took the water taxi down there, which was fun. Went to my favorite Chinese spot, Ming Hin. That's right. That's what it is, I think.
Yeah.
You order off a tablet. You just order a bunch of stuff for the table. I think I talked about this on my podcast. Lots of Ming Hin plug-in.
Your pork belly.
Dude, everything I order off
fave.
that menu is just fucking fire. It's all so good. And then we went over and got some Tide rolled ice because we saw it on the Food Network. And I'm like, Chinatown's got to have these places. I know it's Chinatown and this is Tide rolled ice.
They had like
and
5
I'm not
of
saying
them.
they're all the same because I'm not a racist. But I'm saying Chinatown says they're all the same. Like Chinatown says, like, we're Chinatown, but also like we're your one-stop.
We're Asian
We're like your one-stop shop for
all the bamboo and waving cat.
Right, like all standard. You know, like I'm not being racist. I think they're being just. I think it's cool because they're profiting off general non-racist American ignorance. So it all works itself out, right?
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you know, I did it. See, how can I explain this? I kind of inhabited the role for a moment of like standard ignorant American. I don't think I am one. Like I know there's a difference, big difference, especially between Thai and Chinese.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as we saw this Food Network program about Tide rolled ice cream, I was just like thinking like, well, Thai people are going to know that the standard American doesn't know the difference between Thai and Chinese or doesn't think there's a major one. So they're going to go like, oh, I bet we can get that in Chinatown. And they're going to expect that when they're in Chinatown. If I open a shop, I can pick up a lot of that tourism rolled ice cream dollar. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Well, we saw like 3 of them. 3 like rolled ice cream stores. And they were the only places that were packed.
Right. And I don't think there's like, I think there might be one outside of Chinatown, but it's mostly in Chinatown where you're going to find the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so I know that there's a difference between Thai food.
What's the difference?
But between Thai and Chinese? I mean, I don't know specifically, but it's like...
You made it sound like it was like some obvious thing.
No, but I'm just saying in general, all Asian cultures are like different.
Yeah, I just didn't know if you meant like...
I mean, I don't know.
There's this obvious thing. Okay.
Well, I mean, it's just obvious in terms of obviously all cultures are different. That's kind of what I meant.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
Germany and France are next to each other, But you'd say it's obvious that they have different cultures, even if you can't like quizzically like throw out what the differences are. You're just like,
Do Poland and German have different cultures?
No, that's the same.
Germany.
That's the same. Those are the same. No, I'm just saying, do you know what I mean? So I just inhabited that. Like,
sauerkraut.
So I don't think that Thai and Chinese are the same. But I just know what they think we think. So I put myself in one of those we thinkers, and when I learned about Thai rolled ice, I'm like, dude, I bet they have that in Chinatown.
I totally would think that they'd have it in Chinatown.
That's what
I'm a typical.
That's what who I inhabit. I'm not saying I'm that, but I'm saying I know what they think. They see $1 to be made. They're in dust. They see $1 to be made. They hop on it off of us. That's what, like, perfect example. I pointed this out to you. Whenever we went into like those Chinatown. They had a lot of like souvenir stores and stuff. Yeah, like they souvenir stores, but like
that's where I got my juice box tea.
Right. So they have everything. They have restaurants. They have like kind of supermarket style shops. They have more tchotchke style shops, souvenir shops. But, dude, like all of them that I went into, we went into like 3 different ones. All had Confederate flag based merchandise. So weird. Like a lighter or like a magnet or something.
Like a desk item that was a skull in a Confederate flag print.
Right.
Which
so it's weird. Like, I mean, that has, you know what I mean? Like, I would say if you're a Chinese immigrant, that doesn't relate like directly to you. You know what I mean? Like, per se, but it's racist and you're a race that's not white in America. And this is Chicago. It's not like Alabama, but you just know. But like again, that's why I just like pointed out to you that that's just China being like, if they want to spend $5, I'll take $5. I don't care. I don't care about flag. You know what I mean? So like, I think the same way about like, like.
Do you think people though who would buy a Confederate flag skull would be in Chinatown?
I don't know, but maybe in terms of I think 2 ways. In terms of like, clearly there's I mean, the tchotchke shops, it's not like the stuff says Chinatown on it. It just says Chicago. So I think they're banking on just tourists. Like, maybe you're in from Alabama and you just want to see a couple sites. So you're like, I heard Chinatown's good. And they're like, hey, Bill, I got a Confederate flag ladder. I can get that. Or I think it's number 2. Maybe it's just, people. I don't know. I feel like all Chinatowns are kind of like, I don't know, right? That feels like more of a New York thing. And I guess I didn't grow up with a Chinatown in Cleveland, but I guess the idea that like if you're a kid, you can go down there and like get stuff. I feel like that was always the thing. Like you get in New York, there was always the thing like you get like fireworks and nunchucks in Chinatown. Oh. So I don't know. Maybe just like white trash kids from the South Side just go to Chinatown to get like their Zippo lighters or something.
Is that where white trash kids live in Chicago?
I mean, white trash lives all over.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We are a fertile breed.
Yeah, white trash is malignant in this country. Anyways, but there is like poor white neighborhoods on the South Side, south of Chinatown. Anyways, I don't know what were we talking about. Anyways, Thai rolled ice. I guess I just want to talk about ice cream. But anyway, so I knew they'd have it.
And they did.
Not because I'm a Jackie, but because I know how Jackies think. And so I knew they would know how they think and be like, we can make a bunny. But yeah, it's cool. They pretty much just like pour custard onto like a cold plate and just kind of chop it up as it solidifies and then spread it out and then use like basically like a spatula to like then like, pretty much like, so you put it under the sheet of now ice cream, but it's like thin and you push it so it like rolls up as you scrape it. And then they add some toppings and it's pretty tight. Thai rolled ice cream.
Yeah, and I had the Nutella one, so they like scooped the Nutella into the custard and then mixed it up and then flattened it, so it was like worked into it.
It was really good.
It was delicious.
Like it kind of just tastes like normal ice cream, but that's not a bad thing. But they do good flavor combinationing, and like I don't know, to see them like do that, it's just fun. It's
have you ever been to Cold Stone Creamery?
It's like Cold Stone, but like I think Cold Stone's kind of gross. It's like too much. Because that's why this was like, I got one. It was like chocolate. It was like.
Oh, does Cold Stone put? I've never been to
I
Cold
feel like
Stone. They just
I've
put a lot
only
of
went
stuff
like
in
once
it?
or twice. Yeah, it's like a froyo kind of place.
Oh, okay.
Where
like
it's
get
like.
The pick.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe they have some. I only been like once. I didn't like it. Because that's why I ordered like something, and it just was like, I'm just like, this is so, just like, this is like just weird. It's like too much candy, and so it's for like a 3-year-old, to just like, when you're that age, it's like I want until I throw up. I mean, I don't know. I liked it though. It's fun. I mean, treats should be fun.
Totally.
Let's watch them roll out that ice cream. Spread it out.
It was really I felt tranced watching them roll it up with like a little spatula.
Yeah. Anyway, so we did that, and then we took an Uber home, and while we were out checking out shops, picking up tchotchkes, showing my mom around, Jackie was like, ooh, maybe I can pick up a drink for the pod.
It's good.
Yeah, what does it taste like?
It just tastes like tea in a juice box. It's really
like just
yummy.
like a Lipton.
But fresher.
That's good.
I don't know.
Cool.
Not as maybe it's the juice box packaging, but it doesn't taste as plasticky.
It's tricking you into thinking that it's like
healthy.
I was going to even just say fresh.
Oh.
Because it's got flowers on it.
It says on it, the healthy choice. Oh, no, the natural choice.
How sweet is it?
Not very.
Because I feel like everything in America is sweeter than everything in the rest of the world by like a good factor.
No, this is sort of the perfect amount of sugar. Do you want to try some?
No. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like what we think is sweet, and even it's like regional. Like, we were talking about this like before, like
it's from Malaysia.
Like, where were we at when you got like a sweet tea?
The barbecue place.
Yeah.
Fat Willie's.
And I sipped it, and I was like, this is how I like my sweet tea. But it's not too sweet. I mean, it's sweet, but it's not too sweet. And I was like, whenever you're in the north, people from the south, like, you guys don't know how to make sweet tea. Y'all don't know. And I'm like, yeah, it's not that we don't know. It's just I've had sweet tea in the south. It's so
just
sweet.
Sugar.
It's insanely sweet. It's like, because to me, I like sweet tea. I don't really like unsweetened tea. But to be honest, I'll just drink water. I'd rather have water or sweet tea. To me,
same.
Regular unsweetened tea, it's like you just made my water gross.
It's like drinking non-alcoholic beer.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, give me a treat or I'm fine with water. Yeah, you don't need to muddy up my water with like bitter floral flavors. Especially, put a lemon in it. Put some cucumber in it. Not a tea bag. Or like I said, or give me sweet tea. I'll take the sugar hit if I'm in the mood for that.
Sure.
But still, like, it needs to be a certain level of sweet or else it's not refreshing anymore. Like, it goes over a certain line. And you're like, well, this is just, it's like, a candy bar isn't like refreshing. You wouldn't like eat a bunch of ribs and then be like, take a bite off this Snickers to wash it down.
Yeah.
No. So, anyways, it's like sometimes sweeter than like a milkshake because that's what I was thinking. Another like sweet drink that people drink with like salty food, like a milkshake.
Mm-hmm.
Southern sweet tea is like sweeter than that. It's gross. Anyways, but I don't think anything around the world touches even our least sweet.
I think a lot in the South is gross. Oh, hot take.
Hold on, sorry. I'm having problems with our stream. You can keep talking though. Well, I guess this is my episode. Tell an anecdote.
Well, I liked Chinatown. It wasn't quite what I expected. I felt like the most authentic things there were the grocery stores, which were cool to go into and like, you know what I mean? Like see all the like foreign shit and like cool candies and like even in the candy store they had like dried crab for candy. And, like things that you think would be, like freeze-dried squid. Things that you think would be in just for normal groceries, but they were, like, presented as sweets. It was cool to see. I was not impressed with the tchotchke stores, though, because it was, like, I didn't see anything that seemed like, oh, cool, this seems like authentic Chinese culture. It was mostly just, like, what you were talking about of, like, this is what these dumb Americans will like to buy.
Right.
Oh my gosh, like so much lame Chicago stuff and like weird. I don't know, lots of weird stuff though. Like I liked looking at the weird salt and pepper shakers and like strange. There were things that looked like bouncy balls that they had a sign on that said these are not bouncy balls. and they were like glass.
That's hilarious. There's no way someone didn't like.
Oh, totally.
Smash.
Like,
how many?
I mean, I almost picked it up and like bounced it, but you can like feel that it's not
right.
That it's glass. But like, if you're a kid, you're probably just like, oh, bouncy ball.
Oh, that has to be devastating to watch.
Yeah, I was like, you should really maybe, in addition to your sign that the children can't read, maybe put them up a shelf.
Yeah. Well, I think they probably do that. So then when a kid breaks it.
Oh, they can be like, we told you.
We told you, so now you have to pay.
You buy it.
You buy it, which is fair. All right. I'm almost done being distracted.
Lots of cool mugs. But again, like Chicago mugs. Like it wasn't even like Chinatown, Chicago. I mean, did we see it all? Did we see all of Chinatown? We saw the main drags, right?
Yeah, like I said, I just think Chinatown, it's like one of those things, it's like when you go there, I think that it is like hold on, last thing. All right, I'm done. So I think with Chinatown, it's like an actual it's like a living part of the city. Meaning there's still a lot of Asians that live there. So what's authentic is what's super authentic. Like we said, like you were saying, like you go to the grocery store.
Yeah.
It's meant for Chinese people that want to buy Chinese stuff to make their Chinese food. Or like, like I said, other Asians probably like it caters to other Asians with a focus on Chinese.
Right.
But you know what I mean? So and then there's like the middle of the road stuff that's like restaurants, but even the restaurants, I would say put them in that category because like you go to restaurants and there's like a lot of Chinese people there or Asian people, and it's because again, like a lot of them live in that area. It's like a community, but also I think they know like even if they don't live in that area, they're like this is the best Chinese food probably. So I think it works that, and then I think then it's just that, and then there's nothing really in the middle. Then it just goes to the other end of the spectrum, which is like. A lot of people from Wisconsin that come to Chicago, they're like, let's check out Wrigley Field. Let's check out the Bean. Ooh, let's check out Chinatown. So I think because if you're at a tchotchke shop.
This is where I can get my Confederate flag.
Well, yeah, but even more so, I mean, that's the crazy extreme. But like, that's where you might want to get your Chicago magnet or your Chicago shot glass. So I think they're just like.
Yeah.
Kind of banking on that they're like, well, we're either going to get like a Chinese guy living in Chicago and he's just going to want good dim sum and like, a place to buy soft shell crab. So we have that, or we're going to get someone from like, Milwaukee in and, they're just going to want to pick up like a shot glass before they catch like the plane back from O'Hare.
Mm-hmm.
Or I guess if you live in Milwaukee, you might be just driving. But you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It's kind of like one or the other. It's not like, there's no one in the middle. There's no like white but Chicago resident that's like, oh, I need like a shot glass, but I want it to say Chinatown on it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? Like,
yeah.
So I think that's why it's like, they're either like,
we
cater to like our community or people from way out of town.
Many of those tchotchke shops, I was like, how do all of these survive?
That was weird that there was so many places that sold the same stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't even mean the same tchotchkes because I mean even like a lot of the tchotchke shops sold like some dry good groceries, you know what I mean? Like snacks and stuff. But like Chinese snacks and like, I don't know. I was like, you all sell like the same bag of like green tea Kit Kat, which there's a lot of green tea flavored candy, but like just like normal candy, but like they did like green tea Oreos and green tea Kit Kat. Mm-hmm. But I'm just saying there's like 3 stores that sold the same one. It's like, how do you all stay in business?
Yeah.
Maybe people just have like a favorite one, I guess there's a lot of 7-Elevens up here.
It's true.
In the non-Chinese neighborhoods. So.
That's a good point.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
There's Jules and Mariano's all selling the same shit.
Yeah, but at 7-Elevens, you're buying. Well, I guess they sell drinks and snacks and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe it's like a guy. Oh, that's
I better go get my green tea.
That's
Kit
Wang.
Kat.
He has the best stuff. I know he has the same stuff, but it's always better,
I like his bamboo.
Yeah. So, anyways, all right, let's do this episode so we can move on with our lives. Both us and you, the listeners. Let's move on with our lives. I felt that was like a sluggish start, and I feel it was like mostly my fault.
No.
I feel like I brought that up before on a start. I feel like I had that stumble on the intro. And then I've been having problems with the video. P.S. If you're listening to this, you don't care because you're listening to this. But I think the video is just going to be the audio with our logo over it, because I think we're going to have problems with the actual video.
Oh. Sorry.
But either way, I just feel like, I don't know, I feel sluggish. How long are we into this? How long have people been listening? Oh, shit. Like 15 plus minutes.
Well, just dig into it. You're making it longer by talking about it.
People might be.
I hate when podcasters do that.
I know, but people might have already checked out, and I just feel weak.
We're just talking about Chinatown.
All right, I'm gonna pick it back up. I'm trying to take it into the topics with some energy, but just know I'm not feeling good about this one. But there's still a lot of sode left.
Yeah.
So, all right. I hope people didn't
Stay
leave.
positive.
All right, so I want to talk about the Democratic Party. I feel like we've joshed on them before, rightfully so, but I feel like I read this story. It's like pretty new story, so I don't know if anyone's heard about it. It got published on July 16th, so pretty new news. But I just thought this was like just a goober move of just such epic proportions. Did you read the story I sent you?
Yeah.
Like, what did you just like what do you even think?
Well, do you want to explain it?
Yeah, I'll explain the story. Just give me an adjective for how you feel. It's just goober level 100. It's like insane to me. And I just wanted to talk about how this makes you feel as a traditionally Democratic voter. And I think watching kind of these old establishment guys just kind of fumble the ball time after time, and then you got that chick in New York. What's her name again?
Alexandria.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
What do you think? I think it's like one of those things. Like, it is hard. It's always tough to be like, yes, this is the start of a new thing, because it's like, I don't know. I feel like so many things, they're like, this is going to change things forever. And then people are like, we're people. We don't really ever change forever. And then people fall back into rhythms. But I don't know, man. If this story or stories like this start to gain traction, and then you have these new, exciting, like, young candidates kind of with like slightly more left viewpoints, but, still in the realm of what I think, is a Democrat, I just can't see these people not wiping the floor with these people. I don't know. So anyways, I can't see these new young Alexandria type people I can't see them not winning more primaries and hopefully elections over these establishment guys who just seem like just doofus. Like, I wouldn't let I couldn't see letting these guys manage a Dick's Sporting Goods, let alone make legislation. It's so insane. So, all right. So, Progressive Caucus co-chairman Mark Pocan is a Democrat from Wisconsin. He there's all these like words, like these Congress words, brought to the floor, sponsored. It's just goofy. So I'll try to get like the lingo right. So so Progressive Caucus co-chairman Mark Pocan, Democrat from Wisconsin, sponsored a bill. The bill was to abolish ICE. ICE is like the modern day, Gestapo, SS, just federal agents just above the law terrorizing U.S. citizens or people that want to become them. So just, the worst people in the world. If there's any justice, any French Revolution type activity in this country, they should be the first to be burned publicly. So anyway, so he, and you know what, I would say it's somewhat fringe, the idea of abolishing ICE, but I would say that there's no rhetoric for it in the liberal sects of the U.S. population. So I don't think it's that crazy that this legislation was sponsored by someone, especially someone that's on the Progressive Caucus.
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck that is. But you know what I mean? Like,
right.
It's not a crazy, but so what the Republicans did.
Yeah, I hear that talked about all the time.
Right. So what the Republicans did was they were actually going to bring this legislation to the floor for a vote. So you think, why would the Republicans bring this to the floor for a vote? It clearly seems like something that they would be against, abolishing ICE. Well, they are. What they figured was that So again, like it just mentions it in this article. They don't mention specific polling data with percentages and whatever. And I don't know, maybe that's something we could look up, but that doesn't sound like our style. But basically they insinuate that Americans in general are not in favor of abolishing ICE, that they are fine with ICE. So, so basically what the Republicans' idea was, let's put this to the floor. If any there's no way it passes, right? Every Republican's going to vote against this. We have the majority in the House, so there's no way this thing passes. But if we bring it to the floor, then one of two things will happen. Democrats will either vote for it, and then when we're facing them in the midterm elections, we'll go like, look at this fucking crazy lefty. He wants to get rid of ICE. They're protecting you from terrorists and human traffickers, and they want to get rid of them. Look at this fucking crazy lefty loon. Don't vote for this guy. Or they can vote against it, and then people like me and you will be like, dude, why would you vote against something your own party brought out that would help like all these, migrant families and even some U.S. citizens who are unfairly harassed by these fucking monsters? So either way, it's kind of like, either way, they're just going to vote against it. There's no way it'll pass. Like, there's no risk in it passing. Put it on the floor. We'll all vote against it. Everyone that votes for us is cool with that. And then, basically these Democrats will have to choose which voters they want to alienate by their actions. Basically, the only reason... So, now they didn't end up bringing it to the floor. Paul Ryan squashed it, didn't let it come up for a vote. And basically, his reasoning was he thought there was a chance that there was a third option, which still seems like kind of silly, but basically that Democrats would either uniformly oppose the legislation, so then it kind of wouldn't matter. They wouldn't gain any advantage, but they wouldn't really lose anything either. The Republicans, that is, from that. Or Democrats wouldn't vote at all. They would just abstain from voting, which again, doesn't really make them look strong either way, which seems to be like the Democrats' preferred position. Like, we don't have a position, just everyone else is bad. We're going to do better. How? We don't know, but we'll do it. Just believe in us. We're nice. We like Oprah. Look at us. So, yeah, basically it kind of came to naught. But then, again, just to goober up the gooberness, to just make it a full-on goober fumble at the goal line. And when I say goal line, I mean their own goal line. Like, they fumbled it on their own goal line into their own end zone. They laid on it and basically took the safety, because not only do we not get to vote on abolishing ICE, they instead will put together a bill, a bill will be brought to the floor that is sponsored by Clay Higgins, who is a Republican from Louisiana. And what does that bill do? That bill expresses support for ICE, including, hold on, I want to get this line. Basically, I can't see. Basically, there's something in the bill. Where the fuck is this?
In the support bill?
Yeah. Sorry. Okay. Okay, sorry. The Higgins bill includes language condemning the idea of abolishing ICE. So not only does it show support for ICE, it basically condemns the bill that was brought up. You know what I mean? Like, it's a full on just, not only do you not get what you want, you get the exact opposite of what you wanted. And it's so much so that where is this? That Pocan piece of shit. He lives like right up north from us. Yeah, basically, Pocan, the guy who introduced the bill, he doesn't even want to vote on the bill anymore. There's this quote. It says, and this is McCarthy. Who the fuck is McCarthy? I think he's the House Whip for the Republicans. He said, I gave Pocan an opportunity to vote on the bill. They don't want to vote for their own bill. Politico reported on Thursday that Pocan would not back the bill, even after he and other liberal Democrats introduced it and have been rallying the base with the proposal for days. So,
wait, why did he not?
Because they all stink. It's crazy. I don't know. You know what I mean? So I just think that this story is just hilarious.
That's exactly what's wrong with our government right now. What a bunch of nonsense. First of all, it's just no, we support them. And it's so polarizing. It doesn't do fucking anything.
Well, just like this idea, like,
and
how
also, it's the wrong... fuck Republicans, too. Like, they're the people who have the power to say something about Donald Trump's, like, dangerous... You know what I mean? Like, his recent thing with Russia. Like, they're the ones who have the power.
Yeah, but they don't care.
I know, but, like, that's upsetting.
I don't know. It's not. To me, it's like you always back your guy. You know what I mean? You just hate their guy, but I'm sure they hated your guy, and you would back your guy.
Come on, think you cannot say that's the same.
To me, it's like, no, it is, because to me, there's a lot of sports analogies in this, and to me, it's like the idea of like, whenever it comes up more in college than it does in like pro sports or something or high school. But I think college is like where like a team will like keep scoring on a team after there's no chance of that team coming back, and people get mad and they're like, "Come on, you need to like, just run the ball, like in football or whatever. Run the ball, run out the clock. You don't need to be still passing trying to score. You're up by 50 points. What's another 7?"
Mm-hmm.
And then always the argument is like, if you don't want us to score, stop us from scoring. You know what I mean? I think it's the same thing. I don't think it's Republicans' responsibility to rein in Trump or to stop supporting ICE. It's the Democrats' responsibility to put this to a vote for it, and then if people use it against you in the midterms, defend your position. It's a defensible position, abolishing ICE. It's completely defensible. Okay, because there's still a border patrol that patrols the border. ICE is just a federal police agency.
I think you're right that these people they're not going to last.
I would hope not, right? But it's like, I don't know. It's just scary.
I just hope we have enough candidates like Alexandria in New York that we can vote for,
I hope so too, because it's like
there's nothing more disappointing than getting like a J.B. Pritzker type.
I know,
where you're like,
but that's what
is
scares
your Democratic
me.
Candidate.
That's what scares me is there were like more left wing candidates in that Democratic gubernatorial primary that lost, and it's just like, I don't know how we keep supporting these guys when, like I said, it's like, to me this is what's scary. To me, like, the Republicans aren't scary because they've been doing what they've been doing forever since I've been alive. And if you watch, like, the Vietnam documentary, since Nixon was around. So forever. They've been doing the same bullshit, just, different types depending on the time that they were doing their shit in. And it's always been at least, like, there's another side kind of browbeating it back to some extent. But now it seems like, the monsters are just doing whatever they want, and people you would hope could like push back or even propose things to quell the monsters are like, no, we peed on ourselves. You know what I mean? It's like, what are you doing? Like, and it just makes me just scared that all this is futile, because I saw that Chuck Schumer like co-sponsored a bill that would like decriminalize marijuana federally, and I haven't heard much about it. I'm like, I can't believe it won't go similar to this. I mean, this is pretty goofball at an extreme level, but there's no way that it can't go some way where, like, they're like, all right, we'll vote for it. And he's like, no, I don't want to. I just wanted to show that I was doing this bill so people would, like, remember. Like, they just want to say, like, I co-sponsored a bill to legalize marijuana because our prison system, blah, blah, blah. Oh, well, why didn't that come to a vote? Oh, I didn't really push it to come to a vote. I'm just kind of like a, kind of feeble Democratic congressperson. Like, I don't really do things. I don't know. Does it just scare you, their ineptitude?
Yeah.
And does it, like...
all of them.
Does it also scare you just, like... To me, another sports analogy I was thinking of is, like, Michael Jordan. Like, I don't like him at all. Like, I just never been a fan.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, if someone's like, who's one of the best basketball players of all time? I'd be like, Michael Jordan. And that's how I feel like about the Republican Party, and I think a lot of Democratic voters kind of like live too fandomly. And it's this idea of like, I always say, I'm like, dude, the Republican Party crushes the Democratic Party at politics. Like, they're so much better. They're GOAT. The greatest of all time at politics, the Republican Party. And Democrats are mad like, oh, these bigots and these racists, and they cling to their religion, and they're putting all these policies, and they're in bed with big business.
Politics is not the same as leadership.
Well, I'm just saying I don't like them, but I'm saying gerrymandering and taking over state governments and like taking over
stealing a Supreme Court seat.
Yes, they're crushing it. You know what I mean? Like, that's politics. And that's why I'm just like, Democrats, you need to do better. I don't really care what like your ideas are, because you're never going to get a chance to implement them, because you just keep getting just fucking dunked on. And to me, this was just like, this is straight posterized. Like, this is, you know what I mean? Like, they just got owned. Like, you know what I mean? It's like watching that Marshawn Lynch video when he makes that run against the Saints and he's just like stiff arming guys like to the ground. Like, it's just like that level. If politics was a highlight, it would be that. Like, they just got dunked on so hard. It's just like, I don't know. Do you have any faith in the Democratic Party anymore? And if you do, does it come from these kind of like new candidates that are springing up in the hopes that like we'll get more of those to vote on?
I liked that Alexandria woman. She tweeted something where she posted Fox News saying, "This is what's coming out of the left." And she's like, "I'm not coming out of the left. I'm coming up from the bottom. Like, I represent the working poor. Like, I'm left. The left doesn't want to claim me either because I'm so progressive." But like, she didn't say that. But like, that's what she means. It's like, that's who I'm going to trust now, are the people from the bottom. You know, like, who really? To me,
and there's like a part of me that I just don't even care anymore in terms of like, to me, it's like,
I'm so overwhelmed by all of it. And like, it feels so, I just have trouble going about my daily life following it all.
I just think, here's what I'll say. I just think Democrats, in their idealism, have lost the importance of winning. You know what I mean? Like, winning these political battles, winning elections. And so it's this idea of like, I just hear centrists kind of Democrats, you know, kind of like, you know, just saying that like, you know, this isn't the way forward, and like, no one's going to support these candidates, and like blah, blah, blah. And like, kind of just like, you know, still arguing like, you know, Bernie Sanders supporters, you know, collapsing the 2016 election, and we should have all got behind Hillary and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I think that's the point. Like, if Hillary Clinton would have like smashed the election and won in a relative landslide like Obama did, you know, against McCain, like, I'd have been like, yeah, let's do it. Like, we're winning. And that's the thing. It's like, if these kind of goobers that pull these goofball moves, if they start just winning, you know, House elections and all this thing, like, all right, pick up seats. Like, let's get a majority. Like, let's start getting governor seats back. Like, let's start getting state legislatures back. But it's like, to me, it seems like this, even if it's like, it's not like I'm some crazy lefty. It's not like I look at that Alexandria girl's platform and go like, yep, this is all me. This is all what I like. But I like enough of it. I like more of it than I like the kind of just like centrist, like, we like gay people, but we still bomb every country in the world Democrat. But the point is, it seems like people will actually vote for this. And we can actually like win seats, win the presidency, win state seats. Like, to me, that's the only thing that matters. And I think like Democrats are almost so focused on this like kind of like cockeyed Jimmy Stewart idealism of government that they forget like, at a certain point, whatever wins. Like, at a certain point, if you're a centrist Democrat and you vote for like a DSA person, you're going to get stuff you want. The same way, like, I recognize like Obama way too centrist for me, but I got stuff I wanted and he was a winner, so I'll hitch my wagon to it. These guys, you know, that we're talking about, this Pocan and everyone in the House that's a Democrat, it's like, you're not winners. I mean, you're getting jobbed on hard. You know, you're jobbing for these guys. It's crazy. So, does that make sense? Like, do you agree with that? Like, you just want some W's, right?
Yeah.
And this is like a L, like I've never seen in my life. I mean, I'm sure this happens every day,
it's
but
like a forfeit.
You know what I mean? Like, something. Give me theater, which I always balk at. But if that's all you got, give me that at least. Like, I always goof on theater, but give me that. So that's what I mean. This Pocan guy should have, I don't know, you know, yelled in the House until he was dragged out by security because I will not leave until I get my bill hurt, even though he knows they're not going to hear it. It's like, but give me some theater, which I think is goofy shit. Where we've made fun of that before, with like Pelosi and shit like that. These kind of filibusters that don't mean anything, but it's good for your campaign ad. But if you're going to do nothing, give me that at least. Yeah. At least show you care, instead of being like, as soon as they kind of pull like one little juke move on you, you're like, actually I don't really even support my own bill anymore. It's like, Jesus fucking Christ. What a bunch of like limp dick nothings. Anyways, did I talk too much, or do you kind of just agree? Because you've been kind of quiet on this issue.
Yeah, it's just
demoralized.
Yeah, I can't fucking stand it. I can't stand that like this is even. I don't know. Just watching Trump diminish so much credibility that our country has across the world and any moral ground. I mean, granted, we have long overstated our moral ground, but that was something that was looked at as a benefit of being an American and living in America, was this, that moral high ground for humanitarian anything. It's fucking gone. It's gone. And seeing that stripped away has been really hard to watch and like so overwhelming to the point that like I don't want to not follow it, but it's heartbreaking. Yeah, it's demoralizing. And then to see Republicans and Democrats, I think on both sides here, it's just so stupid. Like, it just is so stupid to me that this is what they're doing with their fucking time.
All right.
I'm over it.
Take us into topic 2.
Well, so topic 2 sort of...
You just sound so sad.
Topic 2 is kind of about, I don't know, just how I'm feeling.
Okay.
So I wanted to talk about, we've been watching a lot of movies with our Movie Pass.
Movie Pass!
And we just watched one on our latest, the 10 to 10 game. We went and saw Leave No Trace, which is an excellent movie about a father who is a veteran with severe PTSD who is living in the public woods in Oregon with his teenage daughter, and they're caught living there and basically, shuttled to a home. And the movie is about their kind of struggle to either assimilate or go back to the way they were living. I'll try not to spoil it, but that's what the rest of the movie's about. And I was really struck by, first of all, I just thought it was so well done. It was such an understated way to cover a story that could have been really sensationalized. And I was struck by how much, what I enjoyed about it was how quiet it was. Not just like audibly, but like the dialogue was very sparse. They didn't get into, this, you can pick up that the dad, played by Ben Foster, has PTSD, right? They say it once, but like you don't really know what his story is. They don't go into this big like flashback. There's none of that. The most you get is that she finds in their papers like a newspaper clipping about like a unit that's like plagued by suicide. That's all you get. And then like when they're living with, some hill people in camp on a campground sort of thing, and you don't really hear these people say much. Like it's very, you're sort of left to your own, because I don't think they could, like you couldn't, because I was thinking as a writer, like what kind of dialogue would you give those people beyond what they had in the movie without our own viewer judgments coming into play? Because I was like, oh, watching it at first, I was sort of like, oh, they're really romanticizing these people. So I already had my own judgments about what kind of person would live off the grid in the woods anyway, and like, and that's fine. But I thought it was just such smart, even-handed writing to not push storylines or force things that made a character seem one way or the other. Like it just was got to the heart of whatever emotion was in a scene. And I don't know, just my other favorite movie we watched this year, well, I have a couple, but I really loved A Quiet Place, and is that what it's called? So I really loved how quiet that movie was, and I'm like, is this a trend, or like what am I just being drawn to these movies where there's not a lot of fucking talking? And Even, you've complained about Handmaid's Tale not moving fast enough, but I think that's what that's sort of what I like.
I have a lot of issues with it from an artistic
What
sense.
I've been liking about it is that they are sort of moving slowly through something. I just think it's indicative of how I'm feeling. I feel like everything is sort of spinning out of control socially and culturally, and it's in my face every day via social media. So having these like escapes that are quiet, even just like physically quiet experiences, has been cathartic for me almost. I'm just wondering if you had any of the same experiences or what kind of your thoughts were on that.
No, I didn't. I did not feel that same thing. Not that I felt the opposite. Just like
right.
I didn't.
You didn't pick up on that.
I did not pick up on that. But that's super interesting, that take. I think the world we live in always kind of affects like the art that's produced, and I more kind of saw it reflected in stuff like I just saw. You did not come with me; you were busy. But I went and took a solo venture and saw. Won't You Be My Neighbor? That Mr. Rogers doc.
Yeah.
And it was just pretty blanket, positivity. He was kind of just a genuinely nice guy, and that's kind of what the documentary is about. And it kind of even like, makes a point to kind of like address that, and just be like, like multiple people kind of like being asked the question, like, was he like that all the time? And then being like, yeah, he was just like a genuinely like really nice, sweet guy. So I kind of think that's probably I think your take is interesting because I think other people have probably noticed that. And I feel like it's even used in a lot of the advertising. Like, we need this now more than ever,
What?
Like some kindness. We need this now more than ever. Like, I feel like I even saw that quote
for the Mr.
in the trailer.
Rogers
Yeah. Like any of these movies. I'm trying to think of another one. Maybe there was another one that came out that was just kind of like just very sweet and touching. Or maybe even the other way, like just like, I don't know, like a Get Out, or there's that new Sorry to Bother You, which I haven't seen yet, but I heard is like very good and just like strikes the nerve of something we should all be listening to. Anything that's kind of like social or political gets that treatment. Anything that's like outright positive kind of gets that like something our soul needs now more than ever. So I think it's clear that people in different times search for specific art, and then that art is created, just like as a marketplace of ideas sort of thing. So I've noticed it with positive things, and I've noticed it with like social commentary movies. But yeah, I never really thought about it in terms of like quiet films and how the kind of media landscape can just seem so noisy, just arguing, and like you said, the amount of information even can just seem very chaotic. Whether it's like good, neutral, or bad information, it still just seem like at a chaotic tick.
Or even just, even like, and then honestly, like people's stories. Like I know everything about one person because they've shared it all on their social media. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but it's just, I am overwhelmed.
So not only
I'm overstimulated.
Right. So just having this kind of understated thing where you can like use your own brain. You know what I mean? Like you said, like the characters don't have these long monologues like, "It's the war, man." Because that's what I was expecting. Right. I was expecting some moment in like near end of Act 2 where, just some ancillary character is like, "Why are you running, man?" "Because I've been running since that day. I lost 3 buddies." And they have this like little monologue about how, their unit got ambushed. And like, no, we literally hear nothing about his service at all. And all we know is that, really all we know is that because one part we see him leaving the VA, but it's not like anyone even says the word like veteran. You literally just see the VA logo on the door, so you'd even kind of have to know what the VA is. Yeah, well, and you
see other veterans walking around. They're obviously veterans. Like,
okay, yeah, but still pretty
subtle.
And then later in the movie, some guy says like, "Was your daddy in the service?" Because he was in the service.
Yeah, he could like sense.
And that was like about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just like this idea like. Yeah, it was interesting. And like you said, because like you said, like everyone's life is given to you with paragraphs and pictures, and like every story is covered from every different angle. Like for 48 hours, then it's a new story. So it's kind of this thing like just giving your brain a workout with art, just kind of like, all right, we're just gonna like give you hints and you'll be able to figure it out. Or like it doesn't matter. Like when everything's dissected together, like I said, like well, you don't really need to know. Like, I think like that's a lot of storytelling that's brought up a lot in kind of like storytelling, just to like trim the fat. And it's maybe like a skill we've lost, that these films are kind of reinvigorating the idea of like, by the end of the movie, you're like, yeah, I guess I don't really need to know why he's fucked up. I just know he's a veteran that fucks up a lot of people. And for some reason he's fucked up. His fucked upness is what's generating the story. Why he got that way doesn't really make the story any different.
And it wasn't like, oh God, it wasn't forcing me to like swallow this empathy pill. Like I was allowed to see him as a human struggling and in a lot of pain, but also his decisions were wrong. Like, I mean, as a father.
No, I was going to say that. I told you that.
I thought that was so the way they handled that too. And that the way they did that was by not editorializing it, even through dialogue. Do you know what I mean?
I told you that after the movie, that I didn't really like the Ben Foster character. You know what I mean? And like, I agreed that it was nice to not be like forced to like him. Like I did think his decision making was kind of selfish, and there was like, but like I said, to me it worked as like, I think, even though it's not like exploitive, it's still like an extreme situation. This guy living in the woods with his daughter, and then like the fallout from that when they finally get discovered. Like, I think that's interesting, and it's still a movie, so it needs to be interesting. Right. But I think that there was still enough. They did it well enough, this extreme story, and they kind of didn't make it extravagant, even though it's an extreme situation. And like I said, to me, it kind of was like an allegory for kind of selfish parenting, especially like selfish fathering. The idea of like not giving up your hang-ups and having that be at the expense of like your children. And I think that could be anything from like drinking to working too much to like, just leaving the bomb maybe or whatever. Like, I think it was like an allegory for like all those decisions, bad decisions that dads make and won't get out of their own way, even when they're given like ample opportunity to. I think this is just like, so to me it worked on that level. And so to me, it's not like I hated Ben Foster specifically, but, and it's like you said, like they allow you to just live in the emotion of him as a father, where you said like, you're not forced to like be like, but he's a veteran, so you gotta respect that.
Well, it wasn't even that. I feel like I didn't have a hatred for him the way, or not that you hated him, but like, let's talk about extremes. But yeah, you said you didn't like him, and I was like, I loved him, and I loved him for letting her go, and I loved him for, I just thought there was something to. It was just such a cool way to show someone, obviously a very sick, hurt person's, but still a person's desire to not live in this fucking world with its, when they give him the phone and they're like, you need to set up this phone so we can call you. Like, that was sort of the last straw before he was, obviously I'm spoiling things here, but like, I think there's a reason for that, like to show someone who desperately wanted to be disconnected from society couldn't. Like, there was no way he could.
But I think, like, through the daughter character, now we're just getting to a movie review, so let's just say spoilers if you don't want to hear them. But I'm not going to say anything crazy. But I think the daughter's kind of thing was...
it's still worth watching. Even.
I think the daughter's point was kind of basically saying, though, like, like, some of these people seem nice and, like, they care for us. So maybe, like...
you should try.
Maybe they're not trying to, like, force society on you, man. Maybe they just want to help and, like...
Well, he didn't seem like that type either. Like, it was more...
But I'm saying, to me, that's why I didn't hate him or even dislike him. I'm just saying I agree with you that they didn't force you to swallow a sympathy pill about his circumstances. Because, like I said, you could say, well, he's a veteran, so you got to respect that, as opposed to maybe like, but he's a heroin addict, so you don't have to respect that. They don't give you that. I mean, they give you the backstory, like we said, vaguely, but it's more that they focus on, like, this is a father making decisions, and because he's a father, they affect his child's life. And also, like I said, like, that's why I didn't like him, where you say, like, because, he's a sick man. I just feel like we saw an array, a spectrum of ways people helped him, all the way from, like, state help to, like, just a fellow veteran just offering kind words and, like, just some gifts that had helped him along the way. You know what I mean? So it's not like they were like constantly trying to, and that's, again, if you see the trailer, you think he's just constantly fighting against like the institutions that don't get him and are trying to mold him. But that's why I thought it was good, again, that they didn't force that dynamic where of course you'd have to feel empathy for him. Like they started that way, but then as it goes, it's literally just people going like, yeah, dude, I get where you're coming from. Maybe just like try this little thing, but also kind of live your own life, but just like, you know, and he was still like, nah. So that's when I was like, well, now you're just pig-headed. And like you said, letting his daughter go, I think she decided to leave. And I don't think if she decided that, he would ever let her go. So to me, it's like, I don't even give him credit for that. But again, like, I thought it was a good movie because I think like all good movies, like I said, to me, it was like, it's not about Ben Foster's character and me just like leaving being like, I don't like that guy. Okay, next movie. It was about, it made me think like, yeah, I know dads who have done that. And like I said, it's not with like living in the woods, but it is with like just not treating their mental illness. Like you said, like not like finding a work-life balance. Like, you know, like I said, drugs or alcohol, like not getting help. And again, like these ways where people have tried to intervene, tried to help. And you know what I mean? Like they don't care. And like that affects their children. And like, or even just like I said, just being absent, just not being a good dad, just being absent, not being around enough. You know, not caring enough, you know, and it's like, you know, just, again, that's why it was so painful to just see this daughter just like, hey, talk to me. Like, you know, just that idea of like, hey, like towards the end of the movie, again, not to spoil, but towards the end of the movie, there's this point where she's like, this is good, right? Like, this is what I need as a child, and this is what you need as someone that's sick, and we can work. And he was just like, nah. And it's like, well, I guess fuck you then. Like, I don't know. So that's why I didn't like him. But anyways, I think back to topic 2, main point. I think you made an interesting point about quietness and not overstimulations in movies maybe being a reaction to where we are now. Because I definitely see that happening. Your specific thing I never thought about, but I think it's a worthwhile point. I didn't think about it while we were watching this movie, but it makes me think now.
Good.
All right, you want to do topic 3?
Yeah.
All right. Topic 3, Usain Bolt. You know Usain? You know Usain?
Yeah.
All right. So he's
the fastest man in the world.
I think he's still the world record holder, right, for the 100 meters.
Yeah.
So he, track star. And
I said that like I know. I don't know.
And I always wondered about track stars like him because he's so fast. But to me, there's two things. A, it's such an extreme athletic ability, like just running as fast as you can. You know what I mean? Because it's not like it's sprinting. It's not even like the 400 meter or like or like a cross country style. It's like 100 meters. So it's like push your body to the red line and then like just do it.
Yeah. And
just try to hit this number. So it's like you can only with how many Olympics can you do that? 2, maybe 3, and then you're 32. You're gone. I mean, you can't,
Yeah, your body's not.
But you're still clearly an extreme athlete. So I always wondered about what would these athletes do? Like, is there any kind of, because there are sports where you can stay in it longer because they're less redlining. And if you're that athletic that you can be a world record holder, it's got to be somewhere you could go with that talent and then just clip on some other skills. Anyway, so I guess that's what he's trying to do. Australia A-League Soccer, the Central Coast Mariners is one of their teams. Usain Bolt just got a 6-week trial contract to play with that team. And the chief executive for the Mariners called it not a stunt or gimmick. And, I mean, it could be seen as such just because he has a name and people want to be like, oh, what's the fastest man in the world? What does he do on the soccer pitch? Let's go see it. Let's buy the ticket. But at the same time, I could agree with that chief executive in that, like, well, he's clearly athletic, if he can learn to dribble and shoot. I'm sure that speed he has could be an asset. He's clearly in great shape. Like,
yeah,
it'd be worth. And they only gave him a 6-week contract, so they're like, let's see what he does.
It's sort of like joining Dancing with the Stars.
I guess so, right? That's what people always say when there's like an athlete. They're like, well, he's talented athletically. Let's see if he can translate. He was good on his feet as a wide receiver. So I guess just in that realm, fun topic 3, is there an athlete who played a sport who you just saw for whatever reason, or maybe you were just curious, you just saw something in him, or maybe you were just curious or whatever, and you were like, I'd love to see that guy play another sport. Like, I just want to see how he does in that other sport. I said you could also do it with another profession, someone in a profession that you're like, I'd love to see what they do in another profession.
I do.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, from the athletic standpoint, I think Serena Williams is such a badass. She's like the best tennis player ever.
Mm-hmm.
And I just love her attitude. Like, she's so mentally strong. She's like the most mentally strong athlete I've ever witnessed, you know?
I feel like tennis has like not a very translatable skill set, so I'm interested to see what you
Well,
say.
that's why the mental toughness comes into play. Like, she was pregnant playing the Wimbledon. No, that's not right. But basically, like,
She
2
did
months
something.
pregnant when she won something, and then like just played the Open with like 6 months ago. She was on bed rest from her pregnancy. Like, this woman is fucking tough. I'd love to see her play basketball because I feel like that's such a like.
How tall is she?
I don't know. Doesn't matter. She can do it all.
I think it matters a little.
She's awesome.
She's got those,
and she's so strong. She's got those
big
big
old
arms.
cans too, though. I feel like that would get in the way more with basketball than tennis.
You can strap them down with some.
I don't know.
Also, you can have big cans.
See,
and play
I think you're. See, here's what I would say. You know what I think she would maybe have a chance with? Do not give me that look. Like, now he's gonna mansplain to me ladies tennis.
He's gonna mansplain Serena
You don't think
Williams.
she could maybe do good in softball? You know what I mean? Because she's already got that swing, and I feel like softball players
that's so smart.
Softball players are kind of squatty.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like she could play like shortstop.
She could be a pinch hitter.
Yeah, or like I said, maybe play
right,
shortstop. She's
kind
of squatty. You know, I feel like those play the infield good. Like, she's got those quick feet. Like, going cross court, she could like maybe slide to side, pick up grounders and stuff.
Yeah.
So
that's a good point. Actually, I pick softball now.
Okay.
I just like watching basketball more, so I think that's why I picked her.
I know that's why you picked it.
And then so on Twitter I follow Patton Oswalt, and I think his political stuff is so funny and but smart and spot on. And I would like to see him be not necessarily the next Al Franken, R.I.P., but I'd love to see him run for office because I feel like there's some political artists who are political commentators now via Twitter, like J.K. Rowling and Stephen King, but they are, you can just tell they're writers, they're emotional, which is beautiful. That's why we love them and why they are really funny on Twitter too with this political commentary. But Patton Oswalt seems and plus just knowing his jokes, I love his joke about intent and language, and I just think he has a really good head on his shoulders and would be cool to lead. I mean, if we're picking from celebrities.
Yeah. Interesting. Mine is pretty standard. That's why I didn't even want to pick it, but I just think it is the best one out there.
Let me guess.
What?
Is it LeBron or Tiger?
It's LeBron. Well, Tiger couldn't play anything but golf.
LeBron playing...
I want to see him play literally anything, but I would love to see that man play fucking football, dude.
Oh, yeah, because he's so big.
I just think he's just when he just is in the lane, he's just such a force.
Yeah.
I feel like I think he could be like a slot receiver.
That's a good pick.
Just little slant routes. I just don't think anyone could I don't think a cornerback could get around him. I just think he would body him, just catch little button hooks all day.
What's a slot receiver?
You got your two wideouts, and then anyone inside there's a slot receiver.
Oh, okay. So he's taking the short passes.
Usually, they're thought of as having good hands, kind of being I don't know. I think he could be a tight end though. I don't know. He might not be tough enough to block, because
he's going on to be a movie producer, so you're out of luck.
I don't think baseball for him. You know what? I was listening to Joe Rogan talk about this, and so this would be my ancillary answer, but also credit to Joe Rogan. Just seeing him fight MMA might be interesting. Ooh. Just again, because he's such a freak athlete.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he clearly has some toughness. I think you have to be on another level of toughness, and even almost to the level of being somewhat mentally ill to want to be a fighter. Or just super poor, and you're this is my way out.
Right.
It's literally almost the male equivalent. I think it's the male equivalent of stripping.
In the army.
No, I was thinking of stripping, because women are all right, I don't have anything, but I have this body and I can use it to make money. I think that's how boxers feel. You know what I mean?
I feel like fighting seems way harder than stripping, though.
Maybe but it's still, you're
maybe
just
prostituting.
But you're still using your body. But either prostituting, stripping, either way. And so I think you do need.
I'd be down to see LeBron James do anything.
You need a certain level of just that. You need some real hunger to be a fighter.
Yeah.
But I think he could pull off football. Fighting might be too tough for him, but he is such a freak athlete. It would be interesting to see if you put some fighting technique to that body, how devastating it could be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He's amazing.
Because I think that's a guy like Brock Lesnar. I mean, he's a freak in a different way. He's so huge. But it's kind of like that idea of like you're so huge, and then it's just what's scary though. Like to me, a guy that huge isn't like that scary per se. I mean to me, but like if I was like a professional fighter, it's more the idea that like he's like a collegiate like prize winning, championship winning like collegiate wrestler. So like, oh, that's like a monster human with like technique.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he's not just a monster.
It was crazy seeing Brock Lesnar in the ring.
Oh, just how huge he is?
Just how huge he is. Yeah, I guess it's not put into perspective when you see him wrestling.
I mean, he doesn't look human. He looks like a bear human.
He looks like, like a Hulk.
Like if you're...
Like a, what's the, like the, not the green, the CGI, whatever.
Yeah.
He looks like he's drawn in there.
Like if you told me, oh, Brock Lesnar, yeah, his mom is Scandinavian and his dad is a grizzly bear, I'd be like... For sure.
Yeah,
totally. Or like a gorilla even. Like half Scandinavian, half gorilla. I'd be like, totally, for sure.
Checks out.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he's just a giant person. But I think that's what's so I think that's why he's so compelling.
Yeah.
Because I just think like, you could put a guy like that in the ring and you're going to get some pay-per-view buys just because it's just spectacle. I mean, spectacle still works on people. I don't think, I think maybe there's, just because we've seen it before, there's a part of society that isn't so, give a quarter to see the bearded lady because we've seen it, we need a little bit more. But I think that's still in us to a decent extent. So I think you could put a guy that looks like Brock Lesnar with no skill and you'll get some pay-per-view buys. But I think why he's so constantly intriguing as a fighter is because you watch him in the ring, you're like, this guy is like quick and like knows how to wrestle and punch.
It's the
so
technique
it's like
with that build.
It's just so freakish, like in a positive way, that you're like, God damn, I just like, gotta see what this guy does.
Yeah.
And then it's got what you need is like that Mayweather thing, right? That Floyd Mayweather thing. Like why he was so successful in terms of fight sales was because it's like half the people tuned in because they're like, I want to see the greatest fighter alive fight. And the other half people will turn in and see like, I want to be there live when the greatest fighter of all time gets knocked out for the first time. And I think that's the thing with Brock Lesnar. It's like, I want to see this guy just murder someone on TV with precision. And also like, I want to see the fucking hero that like tames this beast. You know what I mean? I want to see someone tap out a bear.
Oh, yeah.
You know
I guess
I mean?
I'm not
so
that
like,
excited to watch it. I just, I don't know. Maybe because that was such a weird ending to that Daniel Cormier fight when Brock came in and like slammed the camera. I don't know. It all felt very strange and like forced. So.
Well, he is a pro wrestler too, so he's definitely
forced.
got the salesmanship in him.
Yeah.
I would like to see Brock Lesnar. He tried out for the Vikings and he got cut like way a while ago.
Oh, the football or the TV show?
Football. I wouldn't mind seeing him play football though.
I haven't watched Vikings since like season 2. Like I didn't even make it all the way through season 2, and I still masturbate
like it's like
to
your
that
favorite.
show.
Oh. Well, I think you got what you needed. I think you got what you needed out of it.
I was just on their Instagram feed, and like the 2 characters that I love, the brothers, are both dead, I think, or the ones Rolo's old now. I don't even know, but they have the sons, and I'm like, ugh, this show downhill.
So crazy.
Not into it.
But anyways, Brock Lesnar playing football, that would be a good one. I didn't pick like other professions.
I'd like to see Brock Lesnar in like a movie, because I think he's so hulking and like could play a cool role.
Cool. All right, good sode. Actually, I didn't like it.
I love John Cena as an actor, by the way.
That was pretty good.
BT
How do you feel about this episode? I didn't like it.
I liked it.
I even forgot the plugs at the beginning. My intro was so sloppy.
It's okay. Plug them now.
Oh, I just don't feel good about this episode. I'm sorry if you guys didn't like it. Come back in 2 weeks. Jackie will take over. She'll do better.
You did good.
Do you feel like we brought it together at the end? I feel like you're just a sweet lady.
No, I thought it was an interesting conversation all around. I guess like
you just treat me like a little sweet boy. You just want to hang this podcast on the fridge and tell me I did good.
You did a gold star. I know. It's why you married me.
I know.
Because I'm a Mr. Rogers type
yeah.
to you. And, well, sometimes in general, I guess. I don't know. Do you think I'm full Mr. Rogers? Or
no, you just dote. You're just a mom.
I'm a doter. Yeah, I have a lot of mom energy for sure. Especially if I don't have an animal anymore.
Yeah, you're definitely not a Mr. Rogers. He's like very calm and centered. You're not that.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, you're just doting. He's not really doting.
Oh, okay.
So
he's like logical.
Anyways, this podcast was decent. We'll come back with more fire next time. I'm sorry I let you all down. It's probably because I'm full of Tecate and not Lone Star. Gives me a different energy.
That must be it.
Or maybe I'm just too chilled out from the sauna, and I couldn't get into like the full rant energy you've come to expect in either love or hate.
I kind of liked you not ranting.
I know you did, but I don't think the listeners do. I think you do because you do have to like look at me, and you have to deal with
screaming in my ears.
You have to deal with the fear that federal agents might drag me away one day. But I think the listener, stocking boxes at a warehouse is like, this fucking crazy guy. I dig it. Anyways, all right. This has been a famous comedian walking into a bar. I've been Justin Golak, JustinGolak.com. Just updated my upcoming shows list. So JustinGolak.com, click upcoming shows. Come see me. Chicago for the now time. Probably be getting out of town in the fall, hopefully. So just keep tabs on that. And you will see where I'll be. At Justin Golak on Twitter. Justin at Justin Golak. Email if you want to shoot something long form. And don't forget to send over those dick pics. Jackie Manti, JackieManti.com, at Jackie_Manti on Twitter, and Jackie at JackieManti.com. Send her those tit pics.
And check me out, follow me on Instagram at Jackie Manti. I've been posting so many cool photos from Chinatown, and then we had our most recent 10 to 10 that sent us to Cedric on the Brown Line.
Go to JackieManti.com if you want to learn what the 10 to 10 is.
Yeah, I just posted photos from like where all we stopped on our latest.
But you have an intro blog that just kind of tells what the 10 to 10 is. Yep. And then once you figure out what it is, you can follow our adventures on that blog or on my Instagram, which is just at Justin Golak, or her Instagram. And we hashtag every photo we take from those trips with hashtag the 10 number 2 word 10 number again.
10TO10.
Yeah, the first. The 10TO10. So you can look up that hashtag too. And play a fucking long. You know what I mean? Oh, you gonna sneeze? Nice. So you can follow, but also like
that was a revitalizing.
The point of the 10 to 10 is you do it as well. Let us know on social media what you're doing. Hell, if you're posting photos, tag us in a couple of them. Maybe not all of them if you're posting a bunch, but maybe your first one or one of your favorite ones. Give us a tag. We got emails. You can shoot us emails. You can shoot us tweets. Tell us where you're doing it. Tell us what stop you rolled. All that cool shit. Play along. I think, dude, we've done 2 and we've had a blast.
So much fun.
We should do one at the end of July when you get some free time. I'm itching to do a third one.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
We should have time, right? That last week in July before we head out of town.
Yeah.
All right. These are the plugs I missed, but these are the ones you've heard. FemComPod.com, Stitcher, iTunes, we're everywhere you get podcasts. So leave a rating and review too. That helps a lot. One more thing for me. Killing Your Darlings this Friday. Get you tickets. You can find a link to that at the upcoming shows tab at JustinGolak.com. And for everything you need to know, all our content, one-stop shop, all that shit, lowclass.com. You know what it is. lo-class.com. I guess that's it. Patreon.com/lo class, no dash. If you want to give us a little cash, check out some bonus episodes, get some swag from the low class cornucopia of goodies. All right, that's the show, bros. Do you have anything else to say, Jackie?
No, thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye.